Welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited e-learning program of hardware and networking. We are discussing about memory technologies. So we have completed part 1 and entering into the part 2. So in part 1 we have seen the difference between the memory modules, what is the memory and primary memory, secondary memory, different types of RAM modules available, ROM modules available, and what is the use of it, and the usage of memory modules in the system. All those things we have seen part 1. So we are into part 2 now. So we had different memories like cache memory or primary memory. Now we have a video memory. Okay, so video memory will not be available in the motherboard. So it will be available as part of your display card. For display purpose, you'll be having a separate card, right? So in that they'll be adding additional memory space so that you'll have good quality of pictures as output. So system memory is already limited, and it is consumed for multiple operations. So anything like graphical related, output related, you want to have high definitions output, so it needs additional memory space, right? So instead of 640 by 480, I want to have 1024. So I need to have higher resolution. So if I depend on computer memory, it is taking more time, as well as doesn't have that much storage space. So because it is occupied by other programs. Okay. So what we are doing, we are integrating a memory module with the display card so that it will be utilizing the memory and we get the good quality output. We had a SG RAM, synchronous graphics RAM. So if at all you buy a AGP video card, high resolution video card, it will have a small microprocessor like your CPU. It will have a CPU separately for processing video related informations, and the memory modules inbuilt in that. Okay, so not inside the processor but in the memory card, I mean in the display card, AGP display card. So what happens, my processor's workload is reduced because the processor available in the AGP card will have the functionality, so it is helping to improve the quality of the service. So now we are getting into memory troubleshooting. So installing memory or configuring memory, it shouldn't be a separate task as such, right? So when I am buying the computer, I'm going to judge what is the capacity of memory module I require. Probably if I am going for latest computer now, the Windows 10 operating system, right, that itself is taking 4 GB of memory space. For functioning, good quality functioning of Windows 10, I need 4 GB as per recommendations from Microsoft. So if at all I'm going to add more applications into it, like .NET, Java, or any other gaming, so definitely I need to have additional memory. Probably I will go for 8 GB or 16 GB. While buying itself, I will choose the additional memory capacity so that they provide me the updated, upgraded memory. Okay, in the system. Rate may be differing based on your choice, but getting a higher quality system is good for long running, right? 5 years, 10 years, you need not disturb anything, so it will be good for it. So that is one thing. Otherwise, after buying the system, you wanted to upgrade the memory. What you have to do? Open the system, remove the memory module, and take the module to the shop and ask them for providing the same kind of module. Get it, come back and fix it in the system and close the system. And power on the system. Go to BIOS, find out what is the current capacity, or you can load the operating system. Go to My Computer, right click, go to Properties. You will see memory space available, right? So by that you can understand whether the memory is increased or not. Okay, whatever you have added. Earlier it was 4 GB, now it is 8 GB. Earlier it was 8 GB, now it is 16 GB. Whatever it is, you can find out. So that doesn't requires any configurations has to be done in the BIOS or in the operating system. It is like plug and play. Once you insert, it will start work. You will definitely see the improvement in the performance, and you will not have any lagging, or files will be opening faster because memory has enough space. It will load quickly, and you will not consume the virtual memory, right? Because you have already enough memory space available in the system. So virtual memory usage is becoming less. So the file access will be quicker. So if at all you open any file from PowerPoint or Excel or Word, so it will be opening quickly. So that is how we can measure the performance of a system, how fast it is quickly responding to the queries, right? So the installation and this thing is simple, but if at all any problem occurs, how to do the troubleshooting, that we have to see. So what kind of issues coming and how to fix it, because as a residential user or a desktop administrator, you should be knowing all these things so that you can fix the issues, right? So error scenario: computer fails to detect memory on boot up, and speaker will emit series of beeps, system will fail to boot. So system booting itself, you are getting a problem, and we'll have to see how we are going to fix the issue, right? The error message or the user complains that the system is not booting up. Okay, it may be different reason. So if at all I get this kind of issue, what I will do, it may be because of processor, it may be because of power supply, it may be because of memory module, it may be because the hard disk is corrupted. So there are multiple scenarios. How to corner myself to the memory issue, right? Because we are discussing about memory module, I should discuss about the troubleshooting on memory module only. So about hard disk, we'll see how to fix the issues with the hard disk in the hard disk topic, right? So once I am just coming to a conclusion that the problem is with the memory only, by somehow by using the random, I mean trouble trial and error basis, I'm just concluding that my system is affected because of memory module, right? So I'm doing a diagnostic steps. What is that I'm doing? Is this a new installation of memory? So I just did the upgrade, right? Because of which my system may got issue, and the system operating system is not loading. I told you the memory module's frequency is very important, and sim dim, those kind of things also important, right? Now you don't have sim, don't worry about it. Now you have dim only, but frequency matters. 133 megahertz, 166 megahertz, so that frequency is mattering, and you'll have to find out the other issues. So just find out, is it because of a new memory module? Before the upgrade, if the machine is worked, then after upgrade only the problem occurred. You can check with the user, right? Or you can check by yourself whether it has happened because of upgrading of the memory. So any issue in computers, what we will do, we will just understand what is the last change we made with the computer or with the server. We will refer the last change what we did. Okay, so then only we can come to a conclusion and take a decision. So we'll find out whether for trial and error basis, what we'll do, we'll remove the memory, we'll shake the memory modules, right, to find out whether it is fixed properly or not. One time what we'll do, we'll remove it and we'll insert it. Okay, and then try to switch on the system, it is not coming up. First, what I will do, I will check once again with the old memory module, my system is booting up or not. If the system is booting, and I will conclude that the memory module whatever we purchased new, it is having problem. Otherwise, if the system is not booting, even with the old memory module, it is not at all a memory problem. Obviously, some other issue. So we have to conclude that there is no issue with the newly purchased memory. We have to find out any other problem in the motherboard or in the SMPS supply. Okay, we will come to discussion on memory module. So if the newly purchased memory module is having problem, so what I will do, I'll take an eraser and I'll rub the surfaces of the contacts, and sometimes if the memory module is covered with the dust, so better way to take the pencil eraser and rub it with that and clean with the nice cloth and try to insert it. And you can also use a blower in a smaller speed, a less speed, and just blow the dust inside the memory module, and then you can insert it. And we can also look for any kind of pin bent in the memory module, because forcibly would have done anything, it would have damaged any one or two pins contacts, right, bent, right? So we have to very closely look into it and find out whether any contact is broken from the memory slot. Okay, in memory module you don't have pins. In memory slot only you have a minute pins, right? So which is trying to create contact with the memory module. So these are the basic things. Even after doing all these things, your system is not booting with the second memory module, right? Because it works with one memory module 4 GB, so it is a problem with the newly purchased memory module only. Okay, so we can conclude that the memory module has a issue, so we can take back to the shop and give it to them and check for it. uh, i- Definitely they'll have a problem, so get the replacement module and insert it, it will work. Okay, so there is no issue with the motherboard, no issue with the processor, nothing is right, because it is working well with the old memory modules. Even if there is a issue, then we'll have to check it's a processor issue, SMPS issue, whatever it is, blah blah. Now we'll move on to the memory errors in the application. The majority of these errors result from how the application manages the memory which is available for usage. See, applications like SQL, Oracle, and they are the intelligent applications in the system, right? So if operating system is managing the memory, application, it gets the support from the operating system to load the program into the memory, right? So handling of memory by the application is also a problem. Suppose they have not configured properly and consumes more space, so it is taking more memory space from the applications, right? And we'll get page fault or out of memory or stack overflow. So this kind of error messages will be coming. Since it is related to memory, so we cannot assume that it is a problem with our memory modules. Okay, so there are some issues that the application is loading too much and it is taking more memory space, and there is no free space available, because of which it says memory error. Okay, it may be expecting 64 GB memory module and all, but we don't have that much. We have only 16 GB, assume. So we'll have to manage the application in a way that it is consuming less memory, and while running the program, we have to ensure we are not running a big programs, because you have only desktop system. It is not a high-end service, so we should plan for it. Normally, while choosing the product, we have to choose. We should not go for enterprise kind of editions in the normal systems, right? We have to go for a normal edition, so which is used for application development and other purpose. So the application specifications will be mentioning, right, how much memory you require for running the application efficiently. So that we have to refer it. If at all they are asking for high memory, then we have to try adding the memory module in the desktop or laptop. Otherwise, better to go for a virtualized virtualization, where you can keep on adding, right? Because in virtualization you will get all machines virtual, processor virtual, memory virtual. You can keep adding 64 GB memory also. That should not be a problem. So if at all you are getting this kind of errors from the application, what you have to do? One, application owner have to check the application for the specification and other kind of configuration related, and he or she should not run big programs which is consuming more memory. Then what at once you have to restart the system and find out whether this memory block is getting released from the system or application. If it is repeatedly happening, then we'll have to suspect on the application only, right? Otherwise, without that application, suppose I'm getting problem because of the Oracle application loading error. For example, I'm saying I'm not loading the Oracle application, I'm not opening the Oracle application, but the system is working continuously without any issue. If at all I open the Oracle application, within 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I started getting the pop-up mentioning that out of memory or stack overflow. So this clearly shows it is because of the application, not because of the physical memory what we have. So we have to troubleshoot the issues with the application. Take the help from the Oracle vendor if required, or Google it. You can find the issues, and you can also verify how much memory space it is consuming by going to the task manager. Just go to the system tray, right click and open the task manager. You can find out how much memory is being utilized. Okay, so for example, what I am doing, I am just opening the task manager. So I have opened the task manager and seeing that number of applications have opened. See how much memory space and how much processor I am using. So I have opened multiple tabs in Chrome. See, assume that I have opened 5 or 6 tabs. It is consuming almost 700 800 MB memory space, right? So this is the high utilized application as of now. Okay, so if it is consuming more, if it is keep on adding it, definitely it will take off whole memory. See, normally web browsers will not consume that much memory. If at all you have applications, they are all growing one, right? So it is keep on adding. So that time it will grow like anything. So it is taking much space. So Adobe bundle. So if at all you wanted to terminate, you can just click on the program, right click, you will see end task. Okay, so that you can close this task. I'm not going to close now, but still for you I'm saying. Then you can open the application and find out whether it is consuming normally or not. So this is how you can find out the memory consumption. And performance also, you have memory. So you have 12 GB of memory in the system. In that only 50% of the memory is consumed, right? 6 GB is consumed. So not more than that is consuming. Processor is consumed 25%. So my system is running normally. It doesn't have any overloading or multiple applications open. Though I have Chrome opened with memory capacity, that is occupying more space here. Okay. So app history, you have based on the application, you can find out um, which application is consuming more resources. And startup is very important. So a lot of the program will be available in the startup, so we have to disable it. If it is not required, I'll just go ahead and disable it, right? Why it has to start in the booting time automatically. Okay, so that is not required. So if required, you can manually start it. So these are the startup programs, right? User services, that's it. So this is about managing or monitoring the memory utilization using a task manager. So these are the real-time troubleshooting what we have seen, and mostly it will be asked in the interviews, like how will you manage the memory, how will you kill the programs and utilize the memory effectively. So what are all the application-related errors you get it because of the memory issues. So all those things. Now we'll get into interview questions. Some of the basic questions which is asked in the interviews. So for testing your knowledge, what you have in the memory modules. Okay, let's proceed with the questions. Different types of RAM. So we have multiple varieties and we have discussed about all the RAMs in this topic. Differentiate SRAM and DRAM. We have seen the table content and provided the differentiation. It is faster, SRAM is faster and costlier, and DRAM is we can use a high capacity. Um, it is normal rate, not a higher rate. What are the different DRAM types available? Different types of DRAMs, it is mentioned here. Difference between DDR1 and DDR2. We have shown the voltage utilization is um, getting lower as we increase the DDR number. So DDR itself is a double data rate, whereas DDR2 is double the speed DDR1, whereas the voltage consumption is less than the previous one. What is demand paging? So in case of demand paging, so we have some requirement for the processors, the different number of informations required, but it is not available for the processors to consume. Then bringing that information from your hard disk to the RAM. That is called demand paging. Whenever there is a demand, we are paging the informations, right? Capturing the informations and building the complete table of contents. Okay. So manufacturer of memory, there are different manufacturers available. The famous one is Transcend, Hyundai, Samsung. They are all famous in the market. We have branded product like IBM and HP also. Then what is caching? Caching is nothing but storing the data temporarily so that the processor can consume the data quickly and save time. Otherwise, if you don't have a cache for each and everything, you have to access the hard disk for taking the data, which will take more time as a read and write time is more for hard disk compared to memory modules. Difference between RAM and ROM. So volatile, non-volatile, read-only memory, random access memory. It is faster, used for multiple times. ROM cannot be used for frequent usage. What is NVRAM? Non-volatile RAM. So the data non-volatile RAM. So the best example is CMOS RAM, because we are providing a CMOS power supply, a battery 3-volt power supply to keep the data always available. That is non-volatile RAM. What is the difference between L1 and L2 cache? See, earlier the cache, the cache memory, it is a temporary space where processor keeps the data for ready reference. Cache memory. So what we had earlier is we had a L1 cache inside the processor, L2 cache outside the processor. Later, what they have done, they have kept both L1 and L2 cache inside the processor, L3 cache outside the processor. It is in the motherboard. Okay, so size is also differing. Difference between DDR1 to 3, it differs based on the speed and the amount of voltage consumption, right? And size also. The cut, there will be different cut in the memory module. Benefits of upgrading computer memory: it boosts the performance of the computer. Read and write is doing faster with the memory, and applications are getting loaded quickly, and processing also done faster. Overall system performance seems to be improved. How to know it's a time for memory upgrade? Just now I shown you the task manager where it says 50% of the memory is consumed. If I am seeing 80% or 90% consumed continuously whenever I'm running the computer, so it is the right time for upgrading the memory. Otherwise, you have to stop using high-end applications. Okay, either one you have to do, either upgrade the memory and improve the performance of the system, or you stop running the application from the computer. Whichever is best, you can do it. Can adding more RAM make internet browsing faster? Yes, it will definitely, because you're going to use the RAM for storing the data temporarily instead of writing it to the hard disk. So your read and write with the memory module will be faster compared to writing into the hard disk module. So this is about the basic interview questions about the memory module, and we have discussed about the troubleshooting of memory modules and interview questions in this topic. So this comes to the end of memory technologies. Thank you.